So many people always ask me, what is customer development? Well, today we'll be going over an intro to customer development, which is basically a brief overview, just a big picture explanation of what customer development is. In later videos, we'll be diving deep into each of the 4 steps of customer development so that it's a very actionable step-by-step process for you to go out there and make something that people love. That brings me to my next point. Customer development is really a process for ensuring that whatever idea you have, you can really refine it and ensure that the people that you're building it for will pay for it. You know, will actually be users and cough up money because it is something that is valuable to them. So customer development can be broken down into 4 steps and 2 phases. The 2 phases are search and customer discovery, and customer validation fall under this first phase. And then there's phase 2, which is customer creation and company building. That is everything post product market fit. The search phase, you may have guessed it, is when you are searching for product market fit. You are listing out your assumptions and your hypotheses. You're putting them down on the wall. You're saying, okay, we need to go speak. We believe to these people that have X, Y, and Z in common. We need to go out there. We need to meet with them one-on-one. We need to explore their pain points. That is what customer discovery is right there. I love it. That is the point in which you say, I have this idea. I believe there are people that will benefit from this. And the customer discovery really shows you who those people are and how you can maximize the value for their product. You're also building your audience in that stage. That brings me to my next point, customer validation. That is the second step in the search phase. That's ultimately where you either validate or disprove your assumptions and your idea, right? Because if you speak to 10 people and 0 of them are interested in your product, there's a good chance you need to pivot and hit the drawing board again. Go back to that business model canvas, start to draw out ideas, use that feedback to iterate that idea, and then go back out there to that cohort of people or more people to then start to explore more options, dive a little bit deeper. But you don't move on to phase 2 until you're ready to proceed from customer validation. Otherwise, you keep going through that cycle of customer discovery and customer validation until you find product market fit, right? Everyone wants to find that. So that brings us to phase 2 once you successfully accomplish customer validation, and that is customer creation. This is where you're really mapping out your archetypes, right? Of the people that you spoke to. What do they have in common? Are there different segments, right? For CustomerDiscovery.co, we realized that there's early stage founders, people with just ideas. Then there's focus founders, people with ideas and early stage products, and they know exactly who their customers are. They just need to get connected with them. And then we have seeded founders, who are companies or startups that have raised funding, and now they need to go to their next funding round. So you're really building the archetypes around your customers so that you can build feature sets that solve those needs. In terms of company building, that's kind of self-explanatory. That's when you're building up your company because you've established that there's a good customer base and you've built a product around it, and now it's time to scale those operations. So those are the 4 steps in customer discovery. Like I said, it's a brief overview. It was actually invented back in the 1990s by Steve Blank because everybody realized there was a software development process with Scrum and Agile and very clearly defined events and roles and artifacts, but there was no process for developing your customer base. So hence the name customer development, just like software development. It's also unanimous with product development, right? Because as you develop your customers, that gives you insights into developing your product. So thank you so much for joining me today. We'll be diving much deeper in subsequent videos. Subscribe to stay in touch.